And we want to take you to Ottawa right now, where NDP Leader Jagmeet Singh is speaking about the Pharmacare bill, now becoming law.
Probably you can tell from my little excited demeanor. We have been able to achieve something New Democrats have fought for generations. This has been a long dream of New Democrats since Tommy Douglas. We've dreamed of making sure our healthcare system would include medication coverage. And now, Pharmacare is the law of the land. It's passed in the Senate. It's got royal assent. And what it's going to mean for people is why we're so excited. But now that it's passed, I want to tell you a bit about the journey of how we got here, a little bit of behind the scenes. This was a fight. Every step of the way, it was a fight with Justin Trudeau and the Liberals. They did not want to do this. And it's not hard to believe. They voted against Pharmacare 3.5 years ago when we brought it in, when we tabled the bill with Peter Julian, our House Leader. They voted against it. They have broken promise after promise for 20 years. So it's no surprise that they fought every step of the way. When we put forward this idea, they tried to find ways to wiggle out of it. They delayed, they dragged their feet, they missed deadlines. They proposed draft bills which were completely, utterly insufficient, not good enough. And there were many times when we thought this is going to be it. We're not going to be able to move forward with them. And so we fought hard. We did not relent. We continued, and we were able to push Justin Trudeau and the Liberals to achieve this. But now I've got a message for Justin Trudeau. I'm worried because we know that there's Conservative premiers that don't want to see people in their province get access to free birth control. They don't want to see people get access to free diabetes medication or devices. We know that Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives would cut this. And so this Pharmacare that we've achieved is something that could be so amazing, but it's very fragile. It's fragile because of the cuts of Conservatives and that threat of cuts. So my message to Justin Trudeau is you can't delay and drag your feet the way you did to get to this point. You can't fight us at every turn like you did up until this point. Now you got to get to work and meet with provinces and territories and get deals signed. That is the only way that people will actually receive the benefit. That's the only way that people in our country who are living with diabetes can get the medication that they need. It's the only way that women can get access to free birth control is if you sign deals. And so that's going to be our message. And I think about what this could mean to people. When I think about Linda, who I met in Port Moody, a senior who is on a fixed income, retired, has some coverage, and still pays $3,000 out of pocket for her diabetes. She was diagnosed in her 20s, and she figures that this is probably the least she's ever spent out of pocket, $3,000 a year. So for over 40 years of having this illness, she spent over $120,000 just to stay alive. If we can move forward and get provinces to sign deals, that means that a young Linda today won't have to look forward to a lifetime of having to spend money out of pocket to stay alive. She will know that she can get that medication without any worries. That's what the promise of this bill is, and that's why I'm urging Justin Trudeau, you got to get to work now and sign deals with provinces. I'll do that again in French, and then I look forward to your questions. Je suis tellement fier aujourd'hui.
I'm so proud today
On a accompli quelque chose
because we
que
accomplished something that generations of New Democrats worked on.
C'est la loi.
Now Pharmacare is the law.
Et on est tellement fiers parce que
and we're so proud because
cette loi a la potentiel de vraiment
this
changer
law
les vies.
has the potential to change people's lives. But the law is fragile. We know there are conservatives who want to cut. There are conservative premiers who don't want their population to receive these benefits. And we know Poilievre and his conservatives don't want free contraceptives for women, and they don't want diabetics to receive free drugs. They're against that. They will cut that. And now that the law has been passed, it was a difficult process with the Liberals. We had to fight at every step of the way because the Liberals were against this idea. And it's clear because they voted against this idea in the past. It was a fight, and a hard fight, to get this bill to become law. My message to Trudeau now is to stop with these obstacles like you did in the past. We can't continue to drag your feet like you did in the past. Now you need to work immediately and sign agreements with the provinces and territories so that people can receive the benefits of this law, which means that people can get free medication, free contraceptives. And the only way to make this come about is to sign agreements. And so we have important work to do now.
Are you willing to keep the Liberals in power, to keep propping them up so that those deals happen?
Right now, our focus is on this bill is passed. Now we want to see deals signed. So our focus is on forcing this Liberal government to get those deals signed. Like I said before, when it comes to any bill or motion, we will look at it and make a decision what's in the best interest of people. But today, the first day after Pharmacare has now been made the law of the land, our focus is on getting deals signed so people can actually get the benefit.
Mr. Poilievre says that.
Just as a follow-up quick, will you commit to the Canadians that need this coverage that this Pharmacare is providing, that you will not topple the Liberal government until they have the coverage?
Our focus is making sure people get help. And we want to make sure that people actually get the benefit of this law. And so we are going to now focus on putting pressure on the Liberals to actually sign agreements. We want to see that happen. I want to see people have free medication when it comes to diabetes and free birth control. I want to see that happen.
Mr. Poilievre says that Pharmacare is a bad deal for union workers because it will result in the elimination of drug plans negotiated as part of collective agreements. What do you make of that criticism?
Pierre Poilievre is telling on himself that he has no idea what unions actually do. Unions are very much in favor of this. Workers are very much in favor of this because they know that having to negotiate medical benefits that include drug coverage on the negotiating table or at the negotiating table is incredibly costly. They would love to have this taken off of their table, their plate, and use that money for better pay, better wages, or other benefits. They are very much in favor of this. And it shows that Pierre Poilievre has no idea what working people actually care about because unions and labor movement have been demanding universal pharmacare for a long time. So it shows you Pierre Poilievre is not interested in helping out workers. What he is interested in helping out is big pharmaceutical companies who don't want to see universal pharmacare. That's whose side he's on. He's on the side of big corporations. We've seen that again and again. He's on the side of corporate landlords, the side of corporate grocery stores, and in this case, the side of big pharmaceutical companies that don't want people to have access to free medication because it's going to cut into their bottom line.
I have a question for you. How are you planning on forcing the Liberals into these deals when you said yourself yesterday you're not talking to them? So what tools do you have if you're not talking to them to force them into this?
We're here at a press conference. We're letting people know that this is now signed, and I'm letting the public know that the Liberals dragged their feet on this. Justin Trudeau did not want to do this. It was a fight. It was a battle. Now that the bill is passed, I can tell you, it took everything that we could muster to fight them and fight Justin Trudeau to get to this point. He did not want to move forward on this bill. He did not want to move forward on Pharmacare. He did not want to cover medications for people living with diabetes or birth control. He did not want to do any of this. We had to force them to do it. And so now I'm telling a message directly to Justin Trudeau. Don't do the same thing when it comes to negotiations. Like, people need to know this bill is passed, but the only way that someone sitting in Ontario right now, someone in Saskatchewan right now is actually going to benefit from this. Someone in the Atlantic provinces, the only way they're actually going to benefit from this law that's been passed is if Justin Trudeau signs agreements. So I'm letting the public know, and I'm letting Justin Trudeau know, next step has to be signing agreements.
Now that the bill has passed, are you disposed to topple the government, or will you wait to see the law? Now, today, with the passing of this bill into law, my priority is to force Justin Trudeau and the Liberal government to sign deals with the provinces and territories so that people can start reaping the benefits of this law. This is now the priority because I want people to have access to free medication. I want women to have access to free contraception. And I want to realize this. That's my priority.